Great. Are you hearing us now? Good night, Darcel. Good night, Elizabeth. I'm seeing you guys' comments in. Is this much better? Please just tell us if you're hearing us. Give us a thumbs up. Okay, fantastic. All right, so good. Now that I know that you're hearing us, hello, everyone. Welcome to EPL Properties Limited's fourth and final installment of the virtual mix in 2020. As you know, EPL Properties Limited is a subsidiary of the Eastern Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited, and our business ranges from facilities and custodial management, our gym and swimming pool, the La Jolla Sporting Complex, and our event unit, which is responsible today for bringing you this mix as we have to adapt to the digital environment due to current restrictions in place. Be sure to click like, share this broadcast so we can continue to share this wealth of knowledge and experience homegrown in Trinidad and Tobago. We've had some exciting, informative, engaging sessions. We really want to carry this torch forward, and continue with the enthusiasm, the same enthusiasm that we've had before. Even more so, the entities who sought to add more value to this program by engaging you, our virtual audience, with incentives. So we want to say thank you, of course, to Terrence Bookstore, who is here again for another season and another session with an incredible gift to one lucky viewer today. not to be outdone by Paradox Studios and the Shoguna's Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Now, those were our 3 flagship sponsors for the last few episodes, and we have a few more today. But I'll just go over the regular, just so you know, we can get familiar. The Charon's bundle, of course, contains 3 amazing books based on entrepreneurship and tapping into the potential you have to be a success. The Shoguna's Chamber of Commerce and Industry will reward another lucky person with membership for a year as well. This membership exposes the small business to so many things: contacts, supplementary services, and more. And finally, Paradox Studios is gifting another lucky business with $1,500 worth of digital services. You can choose how you want this to be applied, be it social media, website guidance, and the like. It's an incredible opportunity. We also have our parent, the Eastern Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited, who is gifting 4 share certificates based at $250 each for 4 lucky people viewing today. And a fine bottle of locally made wine from a Korean legacy winery. All right? So here's how you can win. You must have a registered business. So all registered business owners, stay tuned to level up with us today. We are not just registering just for registering's sake, okay? Keep listening. We promise you, you're about to learn and gain the confidence to move forward. Now, let me introduce our amazing panel today. I'm going to go through the names and the introduction first, and then we're going to show them up on screen. All right? The first person we're going to have is Daniella Wade. Are you hearing me properly? Great. Daniella Wade is a multi-passionate entrepreneur with one primary focus of creating an income outside of traditional cooperative structures. She heads 2 companies, Travelux Services Limited, a boutique travel agency, and Talented Society, an umbrella company for brands created to support entrepreneurs, including the recently launched Daniella's Directory, Trinidad and Tobago's most dynamic online directory to discover and connect with entrepreneurs, artisans, and small business owners. Daniella is also a 5-year autoimmune warrior who believes that battling health issues daily should not be a reason to give up, but motivation to forge ahead and find your unique path to success. We have with us again also Vaughnette Bigford. With her unusual name, her signature look, and a voice like the rustle of a velvet skirt, Vaughnette Bigford is hard to forget. This Trini performer is on a mission to remind us that local music does not begin and end with calypso and soca. This dynamic and ambitious lady from Labre is never content to bask in the glow of her successes. She constantly seeks to upgrade her skills and expand her repertoire, studying with some of the greatest mentors in the pop and jazz industry. These days, Vaughnette is eagerly looking forward for opportunities to take her performances abroad so she can share her music with the world. Recognizing her talent as a gift from God, she is determined to fulfill the destiny He has ordained for her. By constantly fine-tuning her craft and embracing every opportunity to share that liquid golden voice with others. And the gentleman amongst the women, Sonny Bling. Radio host and host extraordinaire, his dynamic personality has graced the airways and television, entertaining us always with straight talk and real-life experiences. Recently, he launched his food business and has been receiving raving reviews. Sonny is no stranger to EPL, as he was also featured in our live mix in 2019. So we're happy to have him back again. Just so you know, we are maintaining COVID-19 protocols. We have quite a few people in with us today. Daniella is actually in our studio, as well as Sonny, who is next to me. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We hope everyone is ready to take all information down. Take out your notepad, you all know how it goes, and enjoy the rest of the show. I'm going to put on my mask now and allow Sonny Bling to come on and share this spotlight with me. And let's go ahead and have a good time. All right? Welcome, Vaughnette.
Hi.
Awesome.
Special evening to everyone. Special evening to everyone.
It's nice to see you. It's nice to have you here.
Nice to be here as well. Well, nice to be home, but here.
I appreciate that 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I would say I wish I was home too, but you know, kind of flies in the face of what we're trying to do today. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. So also, I'm just going to take down my mic, my mask just a little itsy bitsy bit, and welcome everybody Say hello to this gentleman here. Sunny Bling.
Hello.
Sunny, I don't know if I can completely take off my mask because I can't talk. But we'll see how it works.
Sorry, I speak in a mask
Great.
every day.
And then we have Daniella Wade. Daniella Wade is here with us today. Looking smashing in white and black. Or is it black and white?
Black and white. Black.
Fantastic. All right, so you guys are just going to hear my voice, but I am going to show you our three presenters here today. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Please tell me, how has it been going? Let's just go in order of view. Seeing that Sunny is the first here. Sunny, tell us, how has COVID-19 been treating you?
Well, good evening, everybody. COVID-19 has been treating me, I guess, the same way that everybody else in entertainment would have been treated, which would be with a hard slap in the face. But all the same, when it hits you to the other cheek. So here we are, trying our very best to continue riding what little our wave there is. And I think it's going pretty all right, man. It's necessity is the mother of all invention, and this year brought out a lot of creative juices, and I believe in every single person. Something you had to create, something you had to pick yourself up and go with. So this year has been a year of creativity. That's
Awesome, awesome. I'm happy to hear that. And Vaughnette, tell us, how has it been treating you?
Similar to what Sunny said, entertainer, I'm a musician, so we're totally dependent on being able to create our own events and being able to come to part of those events. And of course, we have really to do it in the dispensation that we have normally done it. So I tell you, I have good days and bad days. I have days that I get up and it's fine. And I have days that I get up and I want to know, well, what the hell is the next step? What are going to do? I don't lie about it at all. I'm very honest in telling people that I have been taking this day by day, because if I think too far ahead, I tend to get in a little kind of zone and I realize the numbers ain't going down at all. So I'm just taking it daily right now.
And tell us, how has it been treating you?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Is it an echo of the previous people? Do you feel like it's been the same thing for you?
It's been a very interesting season for us. We own a travel agency and the borders are closed. We don't know when the borders are going to reopen, and even when the borders reopen, we don't know who is going to want to travel. In addition to which, aside from the borders being closed, a lot of countries are now implementing new measures to enter their countries, and many things we are not yet equipped to deal with. So let's just say we have had to very quickly pick up ourselves and start over. There's nothing short. We just have to say, you know what? Let's just do something else right now. Not that we're abandoning travel, but I'm no stranger to losing my income several times through to no fault of my own. Yeah. So I feel like I always have a backup plan. You know, it'll be tough. It's a struggle, but I feel like I always need to know what's happening next, so I always have a backup plan.
I think that's an excellent perspective to have. Always have a backup plan in mind. Always know how to land on the feet when things happen. I mean, this has been a really unprecedented type of year, unprecedented situation. We all think we are beyond things like pandemics because we think we're in a modern society and we shouldn't have these things happening. But here, this tells us, no. So we are now having to pivot and rethink the way we did things and rethink the way we do things. And one of the reasons that we chose you three is because we saw the ways that you were pivoting, the ways that you were changing up, the way you decided to do things, how you decided to remain relevant and fresh and still be able to generate some sort of income. And even if the income is not necessarily financial, but you know, maintain the followership, maintain the engagement, and even keep people's spirits alive, because as you can imagine, it's been a very depressing time for many people. It's been for all of us, I would say.
Yeah.
So Sunny, tell us your journey. I mean, food. I saw you did a lobster and dumpling, rice and dal kind of something the other day. It looked fantastic. Tell us how you decided to go in that direction.
All right, so let's just go back quickly. So I attended TTHCI. Well, what was TTHCI? This was back in 2003, somewhere around there. And I did culinary management. As you'll hear me now, right? You'll hear me now? Nice and clear, right? Good. So I attended TTHCI back in 2003, and culinary management was my thing. I did food and nutrition in secondary school, so I actually really like to cook. And entertainment picked up. So I've been an entertainer for the past maybe 17 plus years, right? Actually, the 15th of December, which was 2 days ago, was my golden radio anniversary. I've been on radio for 15 years doing primetime broadcasting as of Tuesday going there. So I'm really, really happy still, despite all the madness. You know, they call me small wins. So 2020 was a kind of funny year, but I still got to celebrate 15 fantastic years on the 15th of December, you know, of doing something that I love. So despite it all, I'm still actually quite proud. You know, some people will be doing a job, and I'm not even proud to say, oh, why I do this work for how much years. No, I'm actually really, really excited. I'm thankful to do what I do and to be able to share with other people. Now, where food is concerned, in 2020, believe it or not, as was mentioned before, having a backup plan is really important, right? So I actually have a paper that I wrote down. So I met Wendell Constantine some years ago formally. I was doing a promotion for Courts, and he was in the store, and he walked up to me just like that. I never spoke to him before, and he said, young man, are you where you want to be in life right now? And I said, well, I'm on a good track. I think I'm going all right. You know what I mean? I don't really think I know where I'm going, but you know, I have an idea. He's like, all right, here's what you need to do for me, right? Find some personal time, sit down somewhere quietly, write down these points that you want to, as in the place that you want to be, write down these points. You may not have them in the same order, but write them down. Start by writing them down, go in this private place, find a private place, right? So I did just that more or less. And I've always been a person kind of write down things that I wanted to achieve. And Sonny Bling's kitchen has been something that was actually written down maybe like 2 years ago. So I have a piece of paper at home, and I wrote down like 10 things I want to get done. You know what I mean? As in, I would love to get done. I didn't put a timeline on it, but these are things I want to accomplish, right? So after being on radio for 15 years, just like a sportsman or anybody else, you know, you have only so much shelf life in the game. So you must think about what else is next to do. So this cooking thing was one of them. And then when 2020 picked up into the madness, because I actually tried in a couple of fets before, you may not have known, in a couple of parties and fets, I did a little, you know, there are people selling food and things. So I actually took a couple booths in one, two partners events. I pay and rent my spot, and that's some years ago. Didn't really work out the best, but I tried it, right? And in 2020, when things sparked right as an entertainer, I told myself the brand Sunny Bling is closed. Like a store, like a business, the brand Sunny Bling as a business to earn money for now is closed. Meaning the earning power is not what it was prior to COVID. So don't stress yourself out too much. I was actually thinking for like the first 2 weeks, calling companies because I had a lot of ideas, like, you know, to do things online, like in March and April. And I realized I was burning myself out. Because here it is, I was coming up with concepts, thinking that this is what I needed to do to maintain. And in reality, companies wasn't really taking us on. Because they were finding a way to spend less money and do more business in this time. And you here now trying to create a concept, thinking somebody gonna buy into this thing, and nobody was gonna buy into this. So I took about the first month into COVID working hard like an idiot before I decided, you know what, stop. The brand is closed, entertainment is closed, and here's the thing, Miss Bigford, and even Miss Travel Agent. My thing is, as a parent, unless my children can attend school, entertainment is closed. Unless the biggest bunch of germ-spreading people could get to go and congregate together, meaning children, if they cannot go to school formally, we can't entertain the public formally.
That's it.
That is my thing. So until I see schools reopen to a certain degree, I know I cannot go and host an event in a certain capacity. I know I will not be able to do certain things to a certain capacity. So I started to kind of take things from a different perspective. So boom, opportunity. I live in Central, and the food place, I was originally a customer. I love going to buy this food on the weekend, the home cooked food. I love home cooked food more than fast food. So I like to cook, you know what I mean? And then during the course of the COVID period, I started cooking more at home with the children. So you're cooking more, you get back more into your vibe. Some people started planting, some people doing painting, some people doing calligraphy or whatever. I decided to go back to cooking. And within that, the passion, of course, showed itself. And a conversation started with the lady with the business place, and from there it led to one thing. And then in May, I decided to start doing renovations on this place because the place was closed during COVID. And it was a literal investment. I told myself, you know what, I worked hard. Thank God I got to save $2 basically. And I said, this is the time to invest in myself. You know what I mean? As in, why not now? And I've started in September, and it's only been Sundays. And people have been asking, Bling, why only doing Sundays? Why Sundays alone? But in reality, I started a business in the middle of a pandemic as an entertainer. Before the Prime Minister said there was no carnival. So my thought was, one, as we mentioned before, maintaining relevance. So it's not about opening 7 days a week. It was one, getting something off the ground and letting people know, the world know that, hey, we're still here. And not just we're still here, but in a brand new capacity, so it's something to look at. Because everybody wants to know, like, what is new? People fluctuate to what is new. They run into what's new. So yes, I know Sunny Bling, but Sunny Bling could cook, boy, oh my God. Right, so what's new? So we created brand new, basically. And I decided to use the last few months, going on to the end of the year here, to work on consistency, quality in terms of taste, and general relevance, building a brand, and people know what it is you're about, being able to serve people, because some people might run into it and say it's money, like, boy, it's a pandemic, you need to open as many days as possible and see how much money you can make. But then you do that and you never really did build on quality. You didn't really get time to build on consistency. So yes, I might be doing lasagna, but I'm making sure the lasagna tastes the same every Sunday. I'm not sure it might taste the same every Monday to Sunday. You're sure every Sunday it's going to taste the same. You know, when you get callaloo on a Sunday, it's going to taste the same. And then I actually decided to work on a brand, meaning Sunday within itself is a brand. And you know, on a Sunday, Monday to Saturday, you can eat almost anything as an adult. You working hard as an entrepreneur, you can eat crepes and cheese whole week. But you see me as a Sunday partner, you better feed me. I have worked hard all week. I need to eat good at least on one day. And I provided that one day, which is, you know, boy, despite whatever the week have to offer, we can eat anything, next small thing. But Sunday, why? I'm going down by Bling and eat a good Sunday lunch. I provided that. So I plugged one hole, basically. So it is a start. I am far from finished. I have many days I wake up wondering what the hell I'm doing as well. I just know up to last week. So for instance, a perfect example, we've been at it for about 4 months going. And the little money that's been coming out of this thing every weekend, I remember as an entertainer, the money that I took 4 months to make, I may have seen it in one night in one event. Being real. So in other words, what this brought to me was reality, humility, understanding hard work. Because as I told a friend of mine, before standing up in the kitchen and putting in 20 hours of prep and work for 2 to 3 hours of sales, I didn't do this kind of hard work for about 15 years. I was an entertainer. I'm accustomed being the one to run in the event and run back out of the event. So now being the person to set up the stage, put up the curtain, set up the lights, and host the event, you get a greater appreciation for what it is. And what I've already appreciated in the past few months as well, to learn to appreciate more, would be the support base that you have as an entrepreneur and as a small business and a brand. Knowing that people come and support you, you get to realize that there's so much more important than making the money. Having the people that are willing to come and support you each and every week is what is really important. So for instance, last week, in wrapping up this little piece, last week we opened just at 12 o'clock, and by 5 to 2, I had to say that we were sold out. And that's ridiculous. But at the same time, I was thankful to know that, look at the support base, people actually coming from far and wide just to support this thing in such a way, lining up in the hot sun with Sunday lunch, you know what I mean? So I am proud to know that within all that is happening to us as people, because I'm not the only one affected, I am proud to know that I can still impact people in a kind of way that would still say, you know what, we could really get up and go, man. Look at how Sunny Bling still doing something. Why shouldn't I do something? I have at least 5-6 friends who started either baking, cooking, doing like a specialty night. So for instance, somebody who do gourmet hot dogs on a Friday night. I know somebody who do some kind of boiled corn and shrimp special on a Saturday night. I know a lot of people who have literally started stuff in the middle of this pandemic out of necessity. And necessity is mother of all invention. So it's the time to just create.
It is fantastic, Sunny. I think that's really amazing. I love the point about having a support your support group and the people around to really kind of keep you up and motivated to try another day even as an entertainer. And I mean, I know Vaughnette definitely knows about being an entertainer and having to grapple with what is happening in this business and in this industry right now. So Vaughnette, tell us, I mean, we've seen you doing some really amazing things. Tell us what has been your motivation and how have you been keeping up maybe a couple gems?
I'm trying to remember if it was Daniella who was talking about having a backup plan and always having a backup plan. Yeah. My story is slightly different in that for me, entertainment was my backup plan. I worked in corporate. I worked for Petrotrin for 18 years. I'm a trained professional, and that basically was my career. Music, as much as I loved it, I was doing it professionally. It was always the addition because I loved my job. I loved the day job that I was doing. So, I mean, apart from the fact that the job at Petrotrin also allowed ability to do a number of different things as relates to building my brand as a musician. But when in 2018, when the announcement was made that they were going to close Petrotrin, I don't like for me to use the word close, but in reality, it was for us. So it was a closure. So when it was made, I grappled with the idea of next. But I was always in a more comfortable position than many of my colleagues because I had a career that was, I mean, it was blossoming. I was getting gigs. I would be performing all over the place. And so I was just balanced. So it was very natural for me after the closure of Petrotrin. And now I'm not saying it was easy, but I'm saying it was natural to just say, okay, let me focus on this aspect of Vaughnette Bigford. I'm also I'm not the kind of person that likes to take risk. I'm not a risk taker. I like safe. I like comfort. I like the comfort of a job that I know is paying a salary at the end of every month. And yes, you may think that that's a little unambitious. That safety is important, or was important for me. So the decision to go into entertainment full-time was something that took a lot of pushing and lying down and wondering, because it means, of course, that I'm totally responsible brand. I'm totally responsible for my output, my output. I'm totally responsible, but I made a decision to do it. I made the decision, and I think I was going quite fine. I'm branching out from not just performance, event planning as well. So I started doing my own event, my own Vaughnette Bigford jazz events for, of course, I tell people, the more mature audience, because we have yet to get young people to come out. But it's fine because mature people also need something so cool and classy to do as well. And so I was in the middle of planning and preparing and planning all these events when COVID hit in March. I remember having to cancel. I would normally do an event for the borough week of activities in Point Fortin, and I had just made my down payment on the venue when they started shutting down stuff. So it's slightly different for me that my backup plan needs a backup plan. Needed a backup plan. So are you hearing me? I don't know if the audio just went. You hearing me? Right. Right. So if for me it was plan needed a backup plan, because saying like, okay, so what in heavens do I do now? I am no Sunny Bling. I cannot cook. I cannot do it. I cannot even prep. I cannot do it. So it was just, and I spent a very long time in this very confused saying, well, what do I know? What is there for me to do? Because I'm 46 years old, I'll be 47 months. So do I now go to something new? For a long time, it was very frustrating for me. Until I decided I just had to find new and innovative ways to get this product into people's homes. And that's just what I've been trying to do. Remaining very present, because you have a fan base, and through this pandemic, they're all going through their own battles. So I always think that I need to remain relatable and present. So I try my best to do that. Or just do different things. I started with the V-Spot, just doing the Friday night kind of get together where I would have maybe 200 people online just come in and play some music. I mean, that wasn't bringing in any money, but of course it was with an intent. And then when the numbers were kind of manageable, I decided to use backyard as a facility to. So I started the Backyard Jazz Jam. And I had 4 sessions of the Backyard Jazz Jam, and people came out because at that time people were kind of hungry to get out to your club there and your lipstick expiring. So they hurry to get out too, because you don't want your makeup to expire. So they came out to that. And then a little while after that, the numbers building. So of course the numbers started building. We were then, okay, you have 10 people, you can't go with less than 10 people. What do I do now? I'm telling you, this period has a real test for me. Like, woman's name. Jazz in your house series. Jazz is me again, trying to earn a little and trying to keep playing some music and just keeping in people's space. And that Jazz in your house series just was simply, you have a birthday lime at home, you have an anniversary lime at home, something within the numbers for the restrictions. And we would come in your house, set up with our system, and we would play for an hour. You pay us a small change, and we head out. But just the intention is basically just to keep doing, keep relevant, keep, as again, to turn up my hands and say, oh God, well, what am I going to do next, you know? So it's just basically trying to always be present, relevant, and relatable. That's it for me.
That's an excellent pivot, I think. Even with you graduating from, doing one thing, and then you have the restrictions coming in where you have to change things up again, and then more restrictions, and still finding a way to persevere through that. I think it's amazing, really, really amazing. So I think now we need to hear from the travel lady who has the unfortunate circumstances of borders being closed, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us, Daniella, how has this thing really turned things around for you? Oh.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Literally turning around.
So, as I mentioned earlier, for me, it's a very interesting season because I feel like while there's so many changes happening for everyone else, I feel like nothing much has changed for me. And when I say that, I mean, I'm listening to Vaughnette and I'm listening to Sonny, and it just struck me that for a very long time, I have not known what safety is. I have not had that luxury, and I have been living on the edge. I mean, I'm risky, and I mean, it's really just the way that your life takes you, because I was very fortunate when I was 20 to purchase a house with no money in the bank, no help from family. It was an opportunity I saw and I took it. And then after that, I had an industrial injury. And I was not working. I was a flight attendant at the time. I was not making money. I could not go to work. And I remember like one day lying down in bed saying, this will never be me again. As soon as I could walk, this will never be me again. And eventually I went back out to work. and then the airline closed down. Who could have foreseen that the airline was going to close down? I just got back on my feet, right? So the airline closes down, and I was studying media. I always loved media and journalism. And now I have my dream job. I'm a producer and a presenter. And then 2 months into it, I get into a car crash. I am out of commission.
Oh my God.
And, after that, I went into another job. I went into marketing, and then my company closed down, and I have a mortgage to pay, and I'm thinking, so what next? It's been a very interesting journey, and I have always had to have a backup plan or several backup plans. Something that people always tell us is focus on one thing. As an entrepreneur, you can't do that. That is corporate thinking. That is perfect if you're in the corporate line of work. But as an entrepreneur, you definitely need to have multiple streams of income. The only thing that is really saving us is that for the past 10 years, I have learned about residual income through network marketing. I have learned about digital marketing. For our travel agency, we don't see people face to face. We don't collect cash. We don't do anything in person. In fact, I've only ever seen one person ever face to face. Everything that we do is online. I also sell insurance part-time. And 5 years ago, I got stricken with an autoimmune disease. So again, I'm working and I'm doing pretty good, and then something else happens, and these I have no control over these things, and I don't have the luxury of just waiting. There are many times when I was angry. I don't have the time to be angry. I'm listening to Sunny, and Sunny's a chef. My autoimmune disease deals with food. I like my belly. I want to eat everything, and my diet is so restricted. It's enough to make anybody lose their patience. So during this time, what has happened for me, and this is, as you can imagine, this is a lifetime, or an adult lifetime, I should say, of constantly figuring out what's the next thing. I have discovered so many things in myself. I have discovered strength in standing behind my own opinion. I have discovered understanding what works for me, because what works for me may not work for anybody else. But there were many days that I physically could not get up and go to work. There were many, many days, and not everybody is going to have the same struggle. So for us, COVID has been, I don't want to sound insensitive, but it has been a welcomed experience. For me, I have seen people slow down. I've been forced to slow down. I've been forced to take stock of what's really important in my life. Do I get up and fight every day? Do I make myself sicker just to earn an income? Or do I figure out how can I earn money from home and still have a decent quality of life? And when you come from a corporate background, you're accustomed to getting an income or a salary at the end of the month. When you are responsible for generating every cent, you become incredibly grateful and mindful of everything you do every second. Some days, I love people. I really love people. So some days I can take time out of my day to just, see how people are doing, because I'm genuinely concerned about people. I wouldn't be able to do that if I were solely focused on a day job. I wouldn't be able to do many of the things. So for me, it's been an enjoyable period. I do not have to go and fight up with the traffic to drop my daughter to school. We can do everything at home. I work downstairs, she goes to school upstairs, the commute is like steps. And it's brought us all closer together. We have nowhere to go, and for a while I haven't gone anywhere, so we're doing the same things together, we're spending time together, and this is a very stressful time for everyone. because we own a travel agency, I don't know how many people would know this, but we don't get paid until people have actually traveled. So all of the trips that were booked to happen this year, we had to reverse all of our payments. We have clients who are still waiting for payments from the airlines. So we had to reverse. We had to all of the plans that we made, they just went. But it's a constant reminder that you can make all of the plans that you would like in life, and when God has a different plan for you, He's just going to do it. So you just have to allow yourself to go with the flow, be incredibly fluid, just wake up every day, start with gratitude. I mean, being in a car accident, and I was in a car accident twice, 2 serious car accidents. I start every day giving simple thanks to be able to open my eyes, to be able to walk, to be able to think for myself, to have all of my limbs. These are the little things that I wake up and, give thanks for. And so I've really enjoyed the period because everyone else around me has had to slow down as well. People always ask us, Daniella, you're not doing anything, you don't want to come out. And I'm like, I can't eat when I come out. I can't drink alcohol when I come out. It's not fun for me when I come out. Now everyone is at home and, we're all learning to cope differently. And I feel for the first time that everyone else is on a similar journey where you are figuring out what's best for you and you are going along that journey. And we're all understanding that no one has the answer. It's not cut and dry for everyone. It's so we can't pretend to compare ourselves or, think, well, I should be here or I should be there at this age. There is no cut and clear path in life. You just have to go along with the flow and make the best with whatever cards you're dealt.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic, Daniella. I mean, that was a lot. It took a lot to digest that information. I think it's pretty amazing, and you've been very resilient. If nothing else, I think people say this, and it is very true to what is happening now. In that COVID is the great equalizer, and it's all put us sort of at the same perspective now. We all have to start something, whether it's a new thing or over. So I wanted to ask you guys in terms, and you guys can take turns. What would be the advice that you would give to an entrepreneur who's thinking to start something? I mean, you all have different stories and completely different perspectives in terms of how life would have changed for you, while they all have similarities. And I imagine a lot of our entrepreneurs also have, differing experiences, but there may be some similarities in there with either of your stories. How would you suggest that somebody pivot or at least get to thinking about it? Let's go with Vaughnette first.
First thing I would tell anyone is to understand that we're in a where we can't control all that us. That is very important for people to understand, because I'm the type of person like that. As I say, I don't like taking risks. I like to know that 6 months down the road I can pay this. I know that I have my hands on things, and things will unfold in a particular kind of way. I've had to step back and to understand that a lot of what is happening right now, I don't have any control of it. And apart from that, I'm not special in this instance. There's nothing that's super special about me. This pandemic is affecting everyone in Trinidad and Tobago, everyone throughout the world. So it's something that we're all being affected by. So that's first and foremost, so that we're not treating ourselves as individuals. understand that this is something that is happening around, something that is happening to us that we have very little control over. So that could give you a little breathing space to think, well, okay, I find for me, and I'm only giving advice on what I've experienced, I find that for me, speaking with other musicians and artists, connecting with other musicians and artists have really, really helped. A lot of them are down. They're not, so they're behind the type lessons. They're doing job, and they're just very available for anything, for lessons, for talk, for encouragement. Reach out to these people, and you may think that there's someone that you want to touch, and that person's. I'm telling you, I have reached out to some people that I never thought would have responded. In my lifetime, I would have never thought that I'd be having a conversation or some sort of relationship with this person. But it's because we're all affected and we're all feeling similar. So reach out to people, reach out to the people. And what I've also found helps is collaboration, exchanging of ideas, exchange. You may want a man to play on a bass track for you. I play on the bass track for you. You sing for me. There's no exchange of cash. You're getting what you want done, but it's an exchange of services. And a lot of people outdo that now. So collaboration is extremely important. Reach out to people, question the most they could say, I killed nobody yet. But reach out to people, because we're all in similar positions. We're all looking for, sometimes we're looking for a little lifeline too. You're looking for a little cash, for something. You're looking for something to do. First and foremost, I think that this is outside of control, collaboration, and some sort of resilience. I'm telling you, you cannot stop. You cannot. It's a time too of self-reflection. You could fine-tune your product. Fine-tune your product. Stuff that you would have wanted to do that you would not have had the time to do. Find that time to fine-tune your product or fine-tune your brand. I'm expanding my brand. I find that I'm looking for different things to do in entertainment as well, but just different things that I would not have normally done. I'm part of this Wealth project where we have different musicians throughout the Commonwealth coming together to sing this one song, and it's something that I would not have normally done because it's a classical song and I am no classical singer. I needed to also try projects that I would not have normally tried. You understand? Try new stuff. Try new stuff. I mean, the most it could do is not take off as much as you want, but you will never know unless you try. So try stuff, collaborate with people, and sometimes just relax and just breathe. And this too shall pass. And this is not totally all within your control, and be comfortable with that.
That was real nice there, Vaughnette. I would add, you know what, I similar to Daniella in the sense of the whole risk thing. You know what I mean? And understand what I mean by that. I would consider, so the three of us who are here right now in this live, I would say I am the most Gaza roots man out of the three of us here, right? I didn't come here to play no corporate. Maybe I reached that point at this point. No. When I say risk, I work on the radio. I've been there for 15 years and I've been in entertainment for all of those years. And I knew from jump, one, entertainment doesn't have a pension. And there are no permanent work in entertainment. So every single year of entertainment to me was always with the understanding that, you know what, every year could be the last year, right? And to be quite honest, I also say that entertainment is like a wave. And when you go to the beach, so for instance, Vaughnette would be the lady who, in the nice petrotrin, sits at the sand at the beach and enjoys the wave that crashes and wets her toes. You know what I mean? That nice, safe job, right? And then now, someone like Daniella or Sonny Bling, because of the little entrepreneurial spirit, you would look at us on a surfboard on a wave and say, look at them riding this wave now, but we are surfers, we have this talent and this skill, right? But at the end of the day, at some point, the wave comes back to shore. And COVID was that wave that brought every human being back to shore. So all the nice, lavish, big things you were doing on the wave, no, now you have to understand how to do it on the shoreline like everybody else, basically. And that's so to me, that was always something in the back of my head. and seeing other entertainers go through things like I don't want to call names, but then Calypso more so, who had to ask the government for money, and at the end of a fantastic run, well, not now, I'm talking about in my time 10 years, 15 years ago, you saw big names. And I always had that as my fare. I didn't want that for myself in this entertainment game. Meaning, no matter what happens, I was able to say, when I was on top doing this thing, I accomplished X, Y, and Z. That in case the tide comes back down to shore, that I am in a position to restart without having to lose too much. And thank God that is the position I ended up in here now. Meaning that just before COVID, I put certain things in place because I really sacrificed. I knew where I came from. I didn't have certain things rest on waiting on me. Mommy didn't have a piece of land waiting on me. Daddy didn't have no land waiting on me. No family member didn't have a business set up waiting on me. I had to accomplish all of these things. And by God's grace, I did go after all of these things and I did get them. But what I want to say is that in COVID, the main thing that we all need to understand is that we are all in the dark. And as I told some friends in the beginning, there's a few things we have to understand. One, we are all shooting in the dark because everybody going through this thing at the same time. So you have no one person that can afford to say, oh, I have the answer. The only person who could feel they have the answer is somebody with like, let's say a convenience store, a pharmacy, a fruit shed. These are the people who have been making consistent money since COVID has been started, right? That doesn't really mean that they're all well and good, but my point is that they have something going on for themselves, right? Other than that, everybody else needs to figure out what's going on. So the worst thing you could do right now is sit still and do nothing. The worst thing you can do is sit still and do nothing. Like I know a lot of entertainers who were sitting still until the Prime Minister said no carnival. A lot of them were sitting still saying, nah man, carnival 2021 will be good again. And I was saying, partner, I am not putting a timeline on it. And there's a second point I want to get to. The reason why a lot of people are upset, irritated, agitated, want to get over with COVID was from the time it started in March, a lot of people put a timeline on this thing. Because we are training Begonians, God is a training. So COVID come in March, by June we good, man. By June we good. And when people realize by June, like, so what going on, boy? They frustrated the government. No. Half of the problem started with your mind. You put a timeline on this thing, and as you rightfully said, we can plan how much we want, but God is the greatest of all planners. And you would say, COVID, Rich, that one go just now. You don't know the plan. So we need to start with a few things. One, don't sit still. Whatever you feel in your gut, now is the perfect time in your life to try that. Because if you try and fail, everybody else who know nothing to try something else. My point is, now is the time to try that. Two, humble yourself. That was hard for me. Humble yourself. Meaning, do not tell yourself, COVID going to be over tomorrow. Oh, I see vaccines come out, boy. That means travel agency open tomorrow. No. You need to also humble yourself. And take into consideration what is happening. Take more international information at hand. Don't just sit down every day and tell me you're watching the ads on the TV and you know what's going on with COVID. You have to be going mad. If you want to know what's going on in the world, you need to look at things from a different perspective. So you need to go and check your BBC, you need to go and check Fox. For instance, I would even look at Bloomberg television from 9 p.m. because from 9 p.m. Bloomberg television runs Bloomberg Asia, which is basically telling me what's happening in the world tomorrow from tonight. A lot of people may not understand that. It's not a big boy thing. It's just keeping up with what's happening in the world. So how informed are you as to what is happening around you? So one, get as much information as possible. Two, do not sit still. Three, do not put a timeline on this thing. And once you do that, you'll calm yourself a little bit, slow down your heart rate a little bit. And then the reality is this, as Daniella said, why are you beating up yourself every single day? You are not as busy as you were 6 months ago. You have nowhere to go. So in essence, do not mama guy me and be the most busy person. No, you have next to nothing to do any day. Over the past 3 months, 4 months, you have been doing the same thing. You know exactly what you're going to wake up and do tomorrow. Nothing. The people on them work on your computer or nothing. And that is plain and simple. So we need to be very honest with ourselves as to what is happening now. So this is the most time I got to spend with any of my growing children. I have a 2-year-old in a few days, and this is the most time I got to spend with any of my 3 children because of COVID, meaning this girl on me like a tick, and we'll be lying every single day, be lying every single night. And I enjoyed all the today, for instance, I have a old scooter with my son. He had a old scooter in the yard. We were going and buy spray paint, paint it up, put some stickers on the thing. Before I even came here right now, to be honest, before I got after 6 I finished it, I told my neighbor, wash out walk in the yard. I said, Nate, we're going to watch out on the I said, you will let me neighbor? You see what I'm opening now? Now, mind you, last week the guy charged me $800 to put out my yard. You know I got off my yard with $2.5 and I said, no, here, I'm like, stop now. You make it do on Instagram. I know $800 because it's not a big money thing. We feel funny things, you can't be a man, I can also do it myself. So we need to be realistic. I used to send clothes to dry clean every single week. What I mean is I do like to iron. Hello, I don't know where to go. I've been saving that dry clean money. You hear me? So we need to take a look at our lives and start with like the budget. One, look at your before Corona budget, where you used to go to the bar, you used to go to the restaurant, you used to do the hair a little more often, wanted love to spend money on makeup. My point is, now you have nowhere to go. You don't need to buy as much makeup. You're not going to the restaurant too much. In reality, you may not be making as much money, but you're not spending as much either. You know? So you're humble your whole lifestyle, you know what I mean? And this is the time for that level of honesty. Now is the time to know that, boy, I have to go down and like, I have something I always wanted to try. Now might be the very best time. You know what I mean? So the last thing I know is that this is the first time I had an opportunity to invest some money. Okay? And when I say invest money, now I rent right. I save $2 and spend money on the real things like to buy a little block for a house. Now, in the middle of this pandemic, I have invested the most amount of money in my life in any amount of ventures. And I heard Daniella speak about that before. So I will spend quite a bit of money, including the effort. I didn't give up nothing. But my point is that I really know. And I've answered that because you know the saying, right? The saying is not the saying I agree. But let me read. Your friend we were playing for the past 20 years. They didn't understand about that kind of money. And then when yet, they might read it. But anyhow, let's not speak about that. Basically, I have invested a lot this year. I have invested a lot this year with hopes for tomorrow. Meaning, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago, and the second best time to plant a tree is now. So because of what's happening in the world.
I think we just lost Sunny.
I think so too. Yeah.
So, well, I guess I'll just fill in until Sunny comes back. So, what I would like to share with entrepreneurs is always keep dreaming. I remember maybe years ago, about 20 years ago, I used to sleep with a dream book or a journal next to my bedhead because I'd always have these ideas. And I just wake up in the night and I just write down. And so I don't have a shortage of ideas, you know, and when you stay dreaming, the ideas tend to develop. It may not be right today, it may solution. We just launched an initiative called Daniella's Directory. And Daniella's Directory is what we like to call the most dynamic directory where you can find entrepreneurs, small businesses, and artisans locally. The inspiration for it came actually 10 years ago. You know, one of the things that we said earlier is the importance of having a network. When I left the corporate world, because I had just become a mother, and I started my first brick and mortar business, I felt so very alone. Not having any friends who were entrepreneurs, not knowing what to do, not knowing who to call. It was a very, very, very lonely thing, you know, and you're seeing everybody going to parties and fetes and you have no money because the store didn't bring in enough. The store brought in enough to pay for the bills, but the store didn't bring in enough to pay for your fet ticket, right?
Yeah.
So, you're watching everybody, and it was one of the loneliest journeys that I had ever gone on. And I remember thinking to myself, I wish I could build a community of entrepreneurs who we could support each other, we could, you know, learn from each other. And this was actually 10 years in the making. Now, the directory should have actually been launched next year. But one thing I am constantly reminded of is that we don't need to make it. We don't need to reach too far ahead to help people. You know, we don't need to wait for a special occasion to see how can I help someone today? Well, what can I do of myself to help others? And I feel that so many people get caught up in their day-to-day lives that we tend to forget the basics of humanity, that, you know, at the core, we are people and we are all blessed with amazing talent. Your talent is not what you get paid for. You know, you're going to work to do that, but we all have things within us, things that we can lend to each other in different ways that we can support each other. And for me, we always have to remember that there is always something that you can do to help, to keep helping. So I would like people to stay dreaming, write down, just keep writing down all of your thoughts. Sunny mentioned this earlier. When you are in your high points, your high moments, plan, right? And when you are in your low moments, stay focused. I see a lot of people who are scrambling now because you didn't plan in your high points, because you didn't know what was coming. But I could tell you, you're going to have lots of highs and lows. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It is very rewarding. It is also incredibly difficult. But if you plan when you are having lots of success, then when you reach the pitfalls, you're going to remember why you were doing, and yes, this works. And if you stay focused, you're just having a little bit of trouble now, but if you stay focused, you are eventually going to get back on that wave. And you're just going to have to keep riding it and riding it and riding it, and make sure you build your network. You know, let's keep looking around to see who can we help, how can we help people, how can we serve people. I believe in serving people. I believe in building up each other. I'm also a John Maxwell coach. I believe to my core that there is something in us that we can lend and that we can share to each other, and we can all learn from each other daily. So that's it. I see Sunny is back on.
I know, to be honest, I really enjoyed being part of forums like this over the past few months, because something I learned about being an adult is that adults have no answers. We don't really know anything, to be honest. We really don't. A lot of people wake up every single day and figure life out on the fly every day, even before COVID, to be quite honest. And it's a reality. And it's not something to be ashamed of. No, it's not the time to be concerned, like, oh my God, I forget and I lost everything. And you're not alone. It's really a time for something else before in terms of partnership. Now is the most important time to partner with other people. You know, now is the most important time, like even Vaughnette mentioned it, in terms of bartering and services. For instance, just being able to know that, hey, if I lend my service to you, maybe you lend, and we go back to a certain time in life. Like I told friends since the beginning of COVID in March and April, what we're going through right now is a very spectacular time, very important, right? Meaning that we are in 2020, and the world that we knew, the formal world that we knew that we were living, so hype and all this excitement, the world that we knew has something in. This is the reality. The world that we know, we love, and we live in, and the world has come back in. And we are in an opportunity right now to rebuild this new world going forward. So every time I hear people say new normal, it's new normal. It's not new normal. We are creating the new world. The difference is that we are creating the new world with our old world knowledge. So think about what I'm saying. So whatever the world was up to 2019, and we were living so good, we had the entrepreneurial spirit, we had the idea to build a business, run a company, we know to sing really well, we know to put notes together, and then boom, everything fell apart. But you still have that same knowledge. So while we all sit down humble together wondering what is next, you know, at the back of your mind, as soon as the gates start to reopen, you've been down so long that you're ready to get back in. And you're ready to get back with some fresh thoughts, with some fresh vibe, because we already have that knowledge. So what we're doing right now is as much as we live in 1990. We live in a time before certain things were happening. So that was the value of the dollar. the money you may have made in 2020, Vaughnette, you may not have seen this kind of money in your life in at least 15, 20 years. As you know, you went to a whole year and you know, hey, Daniella, you are too, you are not business. And it's like, I must have seen this money in 1995, the whole year, I was like this. You know what I mean? And that's the reality. But here's the next thing. I want everybody to also take your mind back to when you had $5,000 to spend or $2,500 to spend, and or maybe you didn't have that money, but you're telling yourself, if only I had $2,500 to invest into a business, I would have done a barbecue, I may have done this, I may have done that. We are living in that time again. You are not seeing the money you used to make before, so now is the time to think small and think big. So, yes, you have to have some making big money and some big money, but now is not the time. So how about you find a way to use some of that small money to generate general money in the whole, and then you'll grow into something bigger. That's one, right? So for instance, for me, I got into the food business because food business is essential business, and that is something I learned coming out of COVID. Every single family in Trinidad and Tobago around the world need to have at least one level of essential business in their family. Understand what I mean? If you don't have a little fruit shed in our family, you better have a little pharmacist. If you don't have a little pharmacist, you better have a food business. If you don't have a food business, you better have a doctor in your family. If you don't have a doctor in your family, you better have a policeman in your family. My point is, you have to have someone in your family that has a level of essential business. Because when the world shut down for COVID, all essential workers been going to work. So we as entertainers learn something. So yeah, we big and we bad and it's paying big money to come to an event, not in a pandemic. So the people that take charge are the essentials. So I learned that, you know what, I used to have a little food business because they mightn't buy clothes, they may not need me to entertain, but they have to eat. And these are the things we need to look at right now. Let us take our time to sit down and wonder about the things that people really do want and need. We may not travel for a little while. A cruise ship I certainly don't want to see because COVID taught me that. I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? I might need brand new clothes for a minute. I have nowhere to go, and most things you're going to do is go to your life. I want a chef jacket. So we need to be realistic. So what is most important right now? Housing is important. So real estate is a big thing. And then again, we all have to eat. So you might go to the restaurant, you might stay home and cook. So we need to try to focus on what is real in certain aspects, in terms of investment. And that's something someone told me a long time ago, for instance. Real estate is the only thing that is real in life because it actually has real in it. We're starting to run down a lot of different things, but real estate has real in it because it's real. You're not going to lose. Not saying that I have all the answers either, but basically, this is the time to explore as much as you can and explore humbly. So to me, as I said, I know me doing food every Sunday is almost as if I am doing a barbecue every Sunday. It only costs so much money. It's something I am trying. It's not a grand investment, but it has a little profit in it, and my team is getting something at the end of the day. And as I mentioned, Vaughnette, you said you have no kitchen experience, you can't cook. Now you remember DJ Hero, right? DJ Hero is the DJ that was with me on my television show, right? So just like every other entertainer, he was affected. You know, DJ Hero is my kitchen assistant. The man could barely peel a potato. But for 4 months, right? He has been working with me because at the end of the day, one, that's my good friend and partner, and I am not leaving you out in this time. And two, I am also showing him that as much as I am creating an avenue for me to survive, you also have an avenue for yourself to survive if you are willing to try something new. And that is what I am proud to still be able to do within this time. Not only am I making a way for myself, but I am still also able to make a way for others, even in this troubling time. So this is all part and parcel of what it is to me. It's more than just thinking, a boy, I want to make a money. No, I'm just glad to survive. I'm glad to be able to survive. I'm glad to be able to make a pathway for someone else, and I also have a greater goal. So to be honest, I have a 365-day plan. In 365 days, I intend to open Sonny Bling's kitchen in a more commercial setting because it's in central in my area. But I hope to come to Port of Spain or maybe somewhere in San Fernando or somewhere in Oregon, open a flagship store within a year from now. So I might be doing Sundays right now in the middle of a pandemic. But I already know that we need to take time to grow. So if this is the crawling period, as I said, this is the second time, best time to plant a tree. I planted my tree now. It's taking a little time. Yeah. But a year from now, it may be something different. And when somebody else say, wait, look how big that boy business getting, boy. I was crawling through a pandemic, suffering with it like everybody else. I have nights when I'm disturbed. I have nights when I wake up thinking, oh, I actually gonna peel 50, 60 potato right now just to make a damn pie. Like, you know what I mean? I grate in pounds of cheese when I reach I feel like Popeye when I done. You know what I mean? You're sleeping and you're like this, you're sleeping so. Because they've been grating so much cheese, you know? And you know what I mean? I go to the market every week. I go to the grocery every week. And everybody in the grocery, they see me and they know me now. It's like, hey, you come to get your beef pie? Or you're going to the market, hey, you wear your salary pie? And it's like, you know, so it's really a blessing and it's a nice vibe. You get to interact with people more. You get to see, it bring me more to the ground. I'm a grounded person, yes, but I've had an opportunity to interact differently and see how everyday people literally survive, and it is good to interact with each and every one of us. You know, so I get to save the personal salary this week. I might buy pumpkin by somebody new this week. You know, you go to this grocery this week, you might go to another grocery. Just get to interact and share. And that is all part of the growth process that I appreciate, and I think we should be open to and willing to try as much as possible.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I think this has been really really interesting to see the way everybody's mind has to kind of acclimatize to the entire thing and decide. If nothing else, it has really put you in a position to decide to do something where you have no choice. Now you have to do something to find a way to survive, to thrive, whatever it is. And of course, you know, now we're in a position where we can see we're now seeing, I guess, the beginning. In a year, 2 years, we will see where these particular ventures would have grown to. You know, it's really just benchmarking that we're doing at this point, seeing what can happen from, you know, as they say, good to better to best, right? So it really is an amazing feat that you guys are doing, and I mean, we're here to take any comments or questions from any of the persons, any of the people who are watching. That they may have for you. I saw a few people commenting on Daniella's presentation. You know, they felt that they really resonated, or it really resonated with them, and how you've been able to just sort of continue to rise despite so many negative things happening and not staying down. I saw a few people commenting on Sunny's statement about not staying still. You know, and how important it is to not get caught up in that negativity and that feeling that you may feel, you know, a bit paralyzed. And, you know, Vaughnette is here, and I feel like I'm watching her taking notes, you know, even while she is here to present, she is taking notes. And to me, that just shows that you never stop learning. You are not in a position, no one is in a position here to not learn, not to pick up something from what the others are sharing. So for me, I feel very, very encouraged by your presentations. We're supposed to be ending at 9:30, and what I want to do is, before we start doing our trivia with people, we just want to remind everyone to please make sure you have your notes prepared, because we are going to be asking you questions to see what you can remember from these presentations to win these awesome prizes. Not only are you going away with knowledge, but you're getting to leave here with a little something else too, right? So we're excited to see what you guys are going to come up with and what you're going to answer. Vaughnette, tell me, what are you looking forward to? Now that the year is ending, we have how many more days? 13 more days to the end of the year. What are you looking forward to with regards to your growth in such a strange time?
Well, as I said, I've been working on a few projects that are not remotely related to my core thing. So it's not tech-related projects, but it's not that it's Vaughnette, but it's just looking at different options. I mean, my husband and I have been also talking about, just like Sunny was saying, about getting into agriculture and just looking at what is the thing, that one thing that is going to sustain you if this pandemic continues for another 3-4 years. God forbid. But just finding ways to maintain peace and balance, being able to do something that, as I said, right now is just to basically survive, making tons of money throughout this pandemic, but you want to come through, and so you want, even if it's just to stabilize and survive, ensure that you could at least meet, and just survive through. And mentally and physically, of course, because the mental is a serious thing too, and we need to pay attention to that. A lot of people are dealing with all sorts of different issues that's affecting online schooling. Don't get time. Online schooling is not no easy thing to be dealing with, right? So it's just to maintain peace, balance, and to focus on these couple little projects that it's not going to take out of me, but it's going to keep me busy somewhat. As I said, present, relatable. I can't remember the other word that I used. Yeah, and it's just to kind of maintain throughout so that I come out of this somewhat,
Awesome.
I think resilient was the next word they used. It was 2 hours actually.
That is the word.
I was paying attention. I was paying attention. Do I win a prize? I hope I win a prize because I was paying attention. She said that pretty early on. But you know what? I want to tell people too, really smart. Right now, so some business. So I am of the firm belief. People say that if you want to be somewhere else in life, etc., you need to deal with people that are 10 times better than you. If you are the smartest person in your circle, then you need to get a bigger circle. That kind of thing, right? And I'm a firm believer in that. And I'm also a believer in long-term investment for growth, right? And I think, as I said before, now is the best time to invest. And the investment that you're making in yourself, your brand, your business, your family, etc., in 2020 is not going to bear fruit in 2021. I think the best thing to do is humble yourself in such a way that I am in the process of doing a 3 to 5 year plan right now for myself. Meaning, I already told myself, this pandemic, what's going on in the world right now, I want to give this thing at least 2 more years. You know what I mean? And with that said, I mean fair. I mean real fair. Not saying that things are not going to lighten up, but in reality, what can I do within this? How many seeds can I plant in this period? That within 2 years, hopefully, they bear a certain type of fruit. And what I mean by that is, I hope that within 3 to 5 years, I am fully sustainable. I am fully self-sustainable. So in other words, I develop enough essential businesses over the next 3 to 5 years that in case push comes to shove, ever again in this life, that I am able to fall back on myself. I'm not wondering if I'm getting the government's grant. I'm not wondering, oh my God, what do we do now and try to turn into our business? Because we tried to turn something in our business 2 years ago. So now we're in a better position now. So this is the reason why I would say, even for like you, Vaughnette, someone that would have worked hard in corporate and then invested in yourself and do your own thing, now is the perfect time to again invest in yourself. But know fully well that you have at least 18 months, an 18-month period before this thing bears proper fruit and goes somewhere again. But at the same time, you do know within 2 to 3 years, you will be taking care of yourself. Similarly to like Daniella. Daniella knows this. Yes, she's tried, she's failed, but it's good. And because you've failed, you know what to try again or what not to try again. And this time around now, you also know how to refine your business. So like, all right, what does travel mean in 2022, 2021? You, as a travel agent, will have the first step as opposed to Vaughnette who trying to get into that field of work. You would know what as somebody doing this for a few years prior. I know how to revolutionize travel agency in the future. Because you've been sitting down home without making any money this year that you have enough answers to change this thing. Because you want back your money. And that's my point. So Vaughnette has been home so long that Vaughnette know, if it is I never get to sing in front of a live audience again, I found a way to deliver jazz to the people. And this is what we need to do. We need to find a way, and this is what I was saying earlier on the dumbing things on last point. Think of an idea right now that you can use on social media, but it has the ability to be 10 different things. So in essence, you have a program in mind, Vaughnette, that you know is supposed to be live somewhere. You know it should be broadcasted on television. You know it can also be live on social media.
Well, guess what? Right now, it can be live on social media, but that same program has the power to be all three things. So in the meantime, between time, you design the same program with all three things, but we only using one facet, which is the social media for now. But when the gates do decide to open up, because remember, we're doing the program online for the past 3 months. So when the gates start to open up by January, February, things get different. A sponsor might come in and they will say, I've been seeing you do that program online, let's put it on TV. And you have already been prepared for that step because the show you designed months ago was made for TV. It was made for a live show, but in the meantime, we could only use social media. So using one aspect of the big thing. You know what I mean? Not your whole show is not social media. No, your whole show is a television production. But for now, we only do it on the internet now, And that's how you sell it to your sponsor as well. So your sponsor knows, I really want $100,000 for this thing, but we can't put it on TV. So just take 15 for the internet now. You know what I mean? So the point is, you dumb this thing more or less, but it's really a grand idea. So we need to look at these grand ideas, but you the smallest part of it in the middle of the pandemic. So in that sense, Sonny Bling's Kitchen should be selling you food 7 days a week. But for now, I'll just feed you on Sunday. The best day of the week, you get familiar with this thing, you get to love this thing. As time gets a little better and better, I'll open on a Friday and a Saturday, then I'll open during the course of the week. But my point is, we start somewhere. And that's what I want everybody to do. Don't just sit in a corner. Wait, start somewhere. So, and trust me, I have a lot of things that I have not done for my business yet, the same small business yet, properly paperwork-wise and otherwise, but that's not the point. I started, and I'm proud that I started.
Awesome. I feel very energized, guys. I feel like we have a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy in the room. I'm very, very encouraged, as I said before. And we're at a point now we have to kind of, ask little questions and get you guys a little more involved. Because we, of course, we have to send Daniella and Sunny home so that they're not on these roads in these COVID times too late. Right? So what we're going to do is we are going to first announce the winners of the prizes.
The winners
who would have registered previous to now. And then we would ask the questions to the people in the chat to give the prizes for the remaining things that we have. So the first winner of the Shoguna's Chamber of Industry and Commerce, they are getting a 1-year membership, is Keisha Alexander of Events in Motion.
Keisha Alexander of Events in Motion, you're a winner. Congratulations. Oh my God. You're a winner. You're a winner. Come on down. No, stay home. Stay right there. Go back. Go.
Fantastic. We also have 2 EC winners. One, we have Caribbean Social Media HQ, Jewel Green, and Zani et al. Cherise Dottin Mark. So we have 2 awesome prizes, 2 ECU voucher winners.
Come on down.
Caribbean Social HQ, Jewel Green, and Zani et al. By Cherise Dottin Mark. So now we're going to ask you guys questions for the Charon's book bundle, which is one an office folder, a book that is titled The 12 Stairs of Leadership, and the third book, Leading Nations into Economic Dignity. I think those are really incredible titles, things that I'm actually interested in reading. So for the first person who answers the questions, Sunny actually made the comment a little while earlier to remind Vaughnette of 2 things that she had said. There were 2 R's. If you can remember those 2 R's in terms of the points that she was giving, give us those 2 R's. The first person who answers those 2 R's correctly wins the Charon's book bundle. Maybe we should play some Jeopardy music. Looking forward to the comments, guys.
Boom, 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 boom.
While we are waiting for you guys to join to give us that answer, we also have the Paradox Studio voucher. Now, you guys know Paradox Studio voucher is quite amazing, right? Paradox Studios does digital and social media, and they are giving you a $1,500 voucher to help you build your website, your social media, whatever it is. You get $100 service. Unfortunately, Sunny is not eligible for this gift. I apologize. That is akin to voter padding. It's unfortunate that you cannot be eligible to win this prize. But if someone can give us 3 of the points that Sunny would have given us today as a way, you know, to get yourself in order for launching your business or otherwise during this particular time, if you can give us 3 of Sunny's points, you stand the chance to win that Paradox Studios voucher. So just
valued at $1,500.
That's right.
That's right.
Just comment in the chat, and we will take that.
I mean, each point is valued at $500. Wow, that's 500 points. That sounds good. My point's expensive.
All right.
My points have what is this?
All right. So we want to just say that the first person who answered correctly is Jade Woodruff.
Jade Woodruff, come on down.
Jade Woodruff. Jade is winning the Karen's Book Bundle office folder, the 12 Spheres of Leadership and Leading Nations into Economic Dignity.
You got all that?
Yes.
One person all that?
Yep.
I don't feel like I want to.
Jade, please, we will look out for some information from us. We will be giving you either a call or an email or a message on Facebook and tell you how you'll be able to redeem your prize. So while we await the answers for this Paradox Studios voucher, we also have 2 ECU share certificates. These 2 ECU share certificates are valued at $250 each.
$250.
What this $250 does, it allows you to open an account with the Eastern Credit Union.
Not even my key allows you to open an account.
That's
but
right.
The money does.
The money does. This is the largest credit union in the nation and one of the largest in the region. And if you haven't learned or haven't seen what has been happening within this pandemic, is that credit unions, if there's no one else to invest or place your money in where you are safe and supported, is a credit union, and that being Eastern.
Hello.
All right. So we are looking for that person or those 2 people who will win those 2 ECU share certificates. We are going to give it to those 2 people who can give us 2 points that Daniella would have raised while giving her chat, specifically when it comes to pivoting after all that she has been through. Please give us 2 of those points. So we'll await those and then give the prizes accordingly.
I need to type in an answer on the live or something like.
Unfortunately, we can't. All right, so the first person I am seeing that would have answered for the $1,500 Paradox Studio voucher is Darcel Dabro. Darcel, this is the second time Darcel has won a prize. Darcel is very loyal. She's been to every single mix so far. So congratulations, Darcel. Congratulations. You have won a $1,500 Paradox Studios voucher.
$1,500 Paradox Studio voucher.
Excellent.
Excellent.
All right. So we're just waiting for the answers for the 2 ECU share certificates. Now remember that 2 people stand to win this prize. So please go ahead, answer, give us the information. And then we have one last prize. And then we want Danny just to close us off, because she did have another point to make before she left us today, is that we are going to give 1 bottle of wine to one of our lucky commenters. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is we're going to make this completely random, because we're going to look at persons who have been commenting during the entire session so far. So this lucky person is winning this bottle of wine here, pictured by Mr. Sunny Bling, which is a bottle of wine from the Aquarian Legacy Winery.
Oh, come on. She doesn't know what she's saying. This is Aquarian Legacy wine, ladies and gentlemen. This is an exclusive bottle just for this evening. It's not available anywhere else right this second because most stores are closed. So this is not just any kind of wine. You see what I'm saying? It's like the W is silent. It's wine. Okay, it's amazing. It's 750 milliliters of the finest. It is nice. It is best served chilled. You know what I mean? Huh?
It's ginger.
It's ginger. It's ginger, which means it's good for pressure as well. Okay, you can sap your knee with this, I'm sure. Ginger is in this. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And trust me, hey, it is so rich in ginger, you can smell it through the bottle and it is sealed. Okay,
wow.
you want this right now. You want this.
Wow.
Yeah, you want this.
So we want to give the prizes of the 2 ECU share certificates to 2 lovely people we've seen commenting so far, which is 1, Nishon Charles and Latoya Blackburn.
Oh.
Congratulations, you've both won a $250 voucher to join the Eastern Credit Union. Woo! I nearly made a kind of error there, boy. Wow.
That's the kind of errors you want to hear from a credit union. No, the mean, in the middle of a pandemic, that's the kind of error I can do it.
And so you want to give this last prize of the wine to somebody who has been commenting, and we are going to give it to someone who has shared the live while it's been going on.
I share the live right now since I've been here. It's actually on my phone right now. I'm waiting to show you on the screen.
Sorry, you
I share this thing. You know what I mean? This is so unfair.
You are not eligible. I apologize. We do not vote a pad. This bottle of wine goes to Elizabeth Francis. And Elizabeth is quite excited. Elizabeth has said that this has to be the cure for COVID. Well, when you drink the wine, you let us know. All right?
You wouldn't believe Lizzie. Yeah, you wouldn't believe in the fine print in the back of this thing. They might have something to do with the cure for that thing. No, it literally says cure for that thing. I don't know if it's COVID, but it says cure for that. I have to assume. I'll just put it away.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that we are just about to close off, guys. I just want to thank everyone for being a part of today. But before we close off, Danny, I know you wanted to make one final point before we close off. So tell us.
Yes. So I just wanted to share what we are up to for the rest of the year. Now, we launched Daniella's directory in the hopes of creating opportunities for local entrepreneurs, artisans, and small businesses. But tomorrow, we are also going to launch something new. We are launching a gift magazine for the season because we want to encourage persons to shop local, support small businesses, So if you follow us on Instagram, it's at Daniella's directory. Look out for our gift magazine because you're probably going to find some really unique gifts in there. And, a lot of people have been saying when they go through the directory, they are discovering lots of new entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs, people that they never knew existed. It's been a really tough season for many people. And we are not asking you to just buy from us. We are asking you to help change the landscape of our country going forward, because as Sunny rightly mentioned, it's not the term the new normal really frustrates me, but this is our country developing, and we have some really big ideas, and you can see it from the vendors. I mean, they're small now, but some of these ideas are going to be gigantic in the future, So if we could start from small, you never know. We might have the next Amazon in Trinidad. We might have the next, large fashion retailer. You never know. So it's just a plea and a reminder to shop locally this Christmas and going forward.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Are you guys hearing me? Fantastic. So thank you guys so much for being part of the conversation today. I mean, we really, really are just happy that everybody was able to be here. We know that it's going to be the last one for the year. Stay tuned to see how we pivot for 2021 and how we, just want to be able to contribute and to be able to help people who have their businesses, who have their ideas, who are able to do things to operate through us. We want to be a conduit for greatness in the East-West corridor in Trinidad and Tobago as a subsidiary of the Eastern Credit Union, and just be able to continue to do great things and go from strength to strength. All right. So please like, share, follow all our social media pages. We have amazing things coming up that some things have to do with the mix, some things don't have anything to do with the mix. Look forward for all these entrepreneurs who you have seen pictured all this time. Look for them, see what they're up to next, see how they would have benefited from things like the Charon's Bookstore Hub, how they would have benefited from things like the Shoguna's Chamber of Industry and Commerce, see how their Paradox would have helped their social media advance, and look into these people who would have been able to do so much. Okay, so thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Vaughnette. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Sonny, who is right here. He seems a little upset that he didn't get this wine, but I'm sure that Elizabeth is willing to share with him. So, Liz girl, if you can, hit Sonny up and let him know you have a glass of wine. I don't know if parrying is allowed right now, but something might be able to work.
She'll get it bottle with one less drink in it. I'll pour it out from now.
You will not get it with one less drink, I promise. So thanks again, Vaughnette. We're going to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And thanks again, Daniella. We're going to say goodbye. And to Mr. Sunny Bling.
Happy holidays and happy new year.
Happy holidays. Okay. Enjoy your new year and look forward to hearing from us next year. Take care. Bye-bye.